Good morning, everyone. It's new every morning. I am your host, Tim Koger, and I have some wonderful little stories today for you. It's a beautiful morning. I can see out the window in front of me. It looks a little cloudy. I don't see a sun yet. Looks a little cold out there. I haven't really been out there, but good morning, everyone. Good morning, Tom. Nice to have you along. It's going to be a great day. I can feel it in my spirit. It's going to be a great day. Let me get that music down. Yes, it is. Podcast number 51. It is January 6th, 2026. We're here and we're live. And I hope we have some morning warriors with us. But you can watch this information later in the day. It's great information whenever you get a chance to watch it. But it's great to have people with me live so you can see it live. This is live. I don't edit this. I don't do anything like that. What you see is what you get. If I have to cough, you get to watch because it's live. Good morning, Sue. Nice to have you with us. I got some really, I think, interesting stories that I think you're going to love. Some maybe more than others based on whatever your situation is. But I'm going to continue to do the podcast every day this week. We'll see what next week holds. But I'm excited to be here with you. And don't forget to go over to It's New Every Morning Facebook page and like that. I will be moving this podcast at some point to that Facebook page, as opposed to off of my personal one. I don't know when that will happen. I started it relatively recently, and it's got to be 90 days and But it will be moving over there. So go over. It's New Every Morning. Go over there and join the group of It's New Every Morning. All right. Good morning, Janet. Nice to have you along. Well, let's get started with these stories. Oh man, I love some of these stories. All right, here we go. So why does orange juice taste bad after you brush your teeth? Now, I know that's the wrong order. I know, but sometimes we get up and we're in a rush and, we're brushing our teeth and then all of a sudden we remember we want some orange juice or we're going to eat afterwards, blah, blah, blah. I don't know. I mean, I know that's yucky. I know if you've ever done that, it is, the reason, I guess the short answer, most toothpaste anyway, contain detergents. And those detergents dissolve fat. Good for detergents. The problem is that your taste buds are made partly of fat. So they don't like it. They're going to dissolve fat. They don't like being dissolved, your taste buds. So they don't want that to happen. Of course, it doesn't really happen, but it creates a big problem in your mouth. So now don't misunderstand. Before you quit brushing your teeth, know that this disruption is very temporary. Just lacks a minute or two. And we all know that brushing your teeth is very healthy. It's an important part of health. So don't quit doing it. But now you understand. You do those things in the right order, all right? My next story is a real news story. Good morning, Deborah. Nice to have you along. The Corporation for Public Broadcasting is officially shutting down. Now, the board of directors voted to dissolve the private nonprofit organization after 58 years of service. And so what has happened is good morning, Donna. The short version is that when they started the public broadcasting, there wasn't much public broadcasting throughout the country. And they were trying to be able to get news and things out to everyone. Well, that's not a problem anymore. I mean, news and information is everywhere. So basically, the Corporation for Public Broadcasting is obsolete. Now, it's a nonprofit private organization, so it can, if it wants to raise its own money and continue to run, but it was running like $1 billion of federal money that really wasn't needed in this time. It was a dinosaur. So it is shutting down. I don't know. I guess they've decided to shut down because they haven't been able or didn't want to try to find their own funding. So anyway, that is shutting down. That's the end of an era, and we'll go on. Legos. My next story is about Legos. Yeah, Legos are unveiling a technology-packed smart brick. Yes, Legos are getting into the technology side. This smart brick has a speaker in it, LED lights, and a tiny chip inside that can sense the interaction with other smart bricks or minifigures. Now, the purpose of the smart brick, as well as other things, is and the minifigures and all those things, is to create context in what's being built. As Lego puts it, and I'll quote them: the role of a smart tag is to tell the smart brick how it should play back with you. So it's trying to teach the brick how to play with you. That's what I get from that. I don't know. It has, I guess it can recognize what kind of object, an animal, vehicle, so forth, what it's in. Now the smart tag, number one thing is the number one branding with Legos is Star Wars. That's the biggest branding, and so that it's going to contain ID instructions on how to use the smart brick. Blah blah blah. I don't really understand that. We'll see we'll see soon, because the company is putting these things out on pre-order on January 9th, so it's coming right away, and they'll actually launch to the general public on March 1st. So smart bricks are coming to Legos in a store or website near you and near me. All right. Wait till you hear this. Wait till you hear that. Yes, Tom, I think there is the new Lego factory is in Virginia, because I knew that they were doing something like that, and that's awesome. That's big. I can't wait to see what that means. This is a new era for Legos. So anyway, Deborah, I kind of miss the Lego days too, when I had kids that were constantly building things, and I have a couple kids that will still on occasion build something with Legos. But anyway, we'll move on. This is a really interesting story. An anti-aging drug regrows knee cartilage is a major breakthrough that could end knee replacements. Now, this is brand new information. This is from Stanford Science. It's through a study, and they found that an injection that blocks the activity of protein involved in aging reverses naturally occurring cartilage lost in the knee joints of old mice, where they're, I guess these old mice are, like old people, their joints are wearing out. Now, they've taken samples of human tissue from knee replacement surgeries in a joint that also responded to the treatment by making new functional cartilage, but through the tissue. As a result, which suggests that in the future, knee and hip replacement may be totally unnecessary. How cool is that? So, I'm sure we're going to hear more about that story, but you're getting it on the cutting edge today. That is exciting news for people that are aging and thinking about getting those surgeries. So we'll see where that goes. I'm sure it's still a few years away, because they got to study it and da. I don't know, I don't know that, but we'll follow that story, and I'm sure you'll hear much more about that story later. But I will tell you this: you're getting to hear it at the very cutting edge, because that's what I bring you. I bring you cutting edge stories. All right. So anyway. Everybody knows about New Year's resolutions, I'm sure. They're very popular. Some people do them, some people don't do them. Some people love them, some people hate them. That's okay. I don't care. I'm not getting involved in that. And resolutions are made by both men and women, okay? But there are, there are things that you set up at the beginning of the year that is your goal to accomplish during the year, 2026. We're there, okay? Now, overall, men and women have the same general answers, okay? But there are a few that are a little bit different, okay? And I'm going to give you emphasis on that. This is all through a big study. Women emphasize happiness, eating healthy, losing weight, and paying down debt more than men do. So if that is you, whether you make a New Year's resolution or not, if that's you compared to your spouse or whomever that you're around, once again, that's emphasize happiness. They want to be happier. Eating healthy, losing weight, and paying down debt. Those are the things that women emphasize more than men. All right. right, so we'll see where that goes. You know your situation. Oh boy. Okay, America is falling out of love with pizza. I can't believe it. This, on a personal note, I have not fell out of love with pizza. Just so you know. Once the second most common U.S. restaurant type, they are now outnumbered by coffee shops and Mexican food eateries, according to industry study. Okay, so now, not only, I mean, let's face it, the Italians have been overtaken by the Mexicans in this story. I mean, I know Mexican restaurants have popped up everywhere, but I didn't realize that pizza had slowed down so much. So pizza sales growth had lagged behind the broader other fast food things for years, and it looks like it's going to continue. Americans still eat a lot of pizza. Don't get me wrong. The pizza chain generated $31 billion in sales in 2024. So they're still doing it. I mean, they're still selling, but it has slowed. On any given day, 1 in 10 Americans will down a slice, according to the agriculture department. So people are still eating pizza. And young people really drive the pizza sales, and that doesn't surprise anybody. However, I feel young, and therefore I fit in that category of young people, I guess. Now, the number of pizza restaurants in the U.S. hit a record high in 2019. It's not that long ago, but they have declined ever since. Every year since, pizza restaurants have declined. So the high point was 2019, okay? Now, let's face it, there are certain things in life that you can depend on. Death, taxes, and pizza, that's the kind of way I look at it. So I have one last story that I'm going to share with you. I've been blowing through these stories pretty fast, and so, but I have one last story. And this is a story that I contemplated how to approach, but if you are a sports fan, and even if you aren't, you may have heard that the Ravens rookie kicker, Tyler Loop, missed a field goal at the end of the game against the Steelers. And when he missed that, it put the Steelers in the playoffs, and it put the Baltimore Ravens out of the playoffs. So it was a pretty big miss, field goal. Now, there was a clip posted on social media about him, Tyler, about a verse in a book that he was, the young kicker, being a rookie, was reading before the game. This is before the game. And so he replied and written down a prayer and decided to revisit it, okay? And this is what he was reading. He said, this is a quote from him, and then it tells what he's reading. It said, "Faith is a big part of my life." That's what he said. Right, and he also said, "Right now I'm reading the book of Romans. In Romans it says, and God works for the good of those who love him, who are called according to his purpose." That is what it says in Romans 8. And so for a young man with, the whole world knows what he did, that he missed that field goal. I mean, when I say the whole world, everyone all over the place. It was a national story. He missed it. He's getting horrible the Baltimore Raven fans have been horrible to him on social media, to the point where they had to shut some stuff down. Not only his social media, but the Ravens' social media. But it sounds like this young man has the right perspective, because he, as a Christian, of which I am, you have to understand that everything's not going to be sugar, plums, and lollipops, or however that saying goes. That's not the way life has been set up. You're going to have challenges in life, no matter who you are, no matter what your situation, But what the one constant in your life as a Christian is Christ, is your faith. And he recognizes that. And even though he had a horrible experience, and that will continue. I mean, this will ride with him forever, but especially for the next year, until next year. I mean, it just will. And because of that, he had a great season, but he missed his last kick of the year. And it was devastating to the team. And I'm sure it was hard on him, but he's got the right perspective. And we have to have the right perspective, because we are going to have situations where things don't go our way. And I'm not telling you, if you've been around very long, you already know that. But the one constant you should have in life is your faith. And if you do, that will help you through those challenging times. And that obviously is helping him through his challenging times. So I'll just have to say, I'm not a Baltimore Raven fan, but I am a Tyler Loop fan. And so I'm gonna continue to follow him, and I believe he's got his head screwed on right, and I love it. So anyway, with that, I am going to sign off for today. I'll be back tomorrow, Wednesday at 7:30 a.m. for some more wonderful stories, cutting edge stories. This is the first place you're going to hear them, and you know a lot of these stories I tell, like the story about the not having to do the knee replacement, hip replacement. You're going to hear about that in the news, but you're getting it from me first. So with that, thanks, Deborah. Everybody have a great, wonderful day. Be blessed, and I will see you tomorrow morning, 7:30 a.m. Bye-bye.